me start with the common illusion is that AI replaces design, and that's the feeling I've had the last, 3 years. Everyone is doing something, and all has to be AI, and all has to be LLM, and all of that stuff, and mostly led by very wonderful and great people in engineering and development. Shout out to them. They've been having the hardest time the last couple of years ever, and I'm very sorry for them. But actually, the reality is that AI makes design more critical than ever. You have to think about what you do. Nothing has changed. The ROI case is still within the design and happens way before you ever write your first line of code. So, and that's why we all hit a scalability wall. And this comes from the POC, purgatory. You can change that POC word with MVP or even with products that you already have running in front of users. They just don't work. They're not scalable. They don't bring in money. They don't bring in the saving. And we found that 95% of all the things that are happening right now in companies with AI, they don't do nothing. They do something, but they do not do the business case. They don't save money. They don't bring in money. They don't do something useful to the most of the users. So 95% of them are just there. And I have to look at this every now and then because I'm actually, as I said, I was not lying when I said I don't know what I'm doing. But there is an exit strategy, and it lies within design. It's something that people tend to forget every now and then, especially every time there's a new technology coming up. They forget about all the things that we've learned the last 500 years and the things that our moms probably told all of us. Think before you act. And that thinking part actually is design. That's pushing around problems, thoughts, perspectives, all of that. That's thinking. That's design thinking. If I do this, something else will happen. And it's in 5 phases. The first one, instead of research, I will call emphasize now. Emphasize with everything around the product. The data that you have, the people that are involved, the people that you're doing it with, the stakeholders that come and say, I need this, I need those KPIs fulfilled, I need all of that. All of those are users of your product. If one single stakeholder doesn't like what you end up with, you're not having a good product. You're having a product that works, but it's not going to be the product that everyone loves, and everyone includes your stakeholders, not only the end user. And those stakeholders are especially important to pick them up front, because those are the ones that in the end, like the week before you want to roll out the thing that you've been working on for the last 5 months, those are the ones standing in front of you and saying, you know what, now seeing what you did, we can't do that for some reason that I could have told you 5 months ago when you would have asked me, but you didn't because you didn't know I was involved. So it's important to emphasize with everything that your product touches. And because that's not happening, because we are putting all the strain on our lovely developers, and I'm shouting them out again and again today, I'm sorry. Like the management coming up and saying, oh, we got AI, do something. You developer, do something with it. Make this better. And they do. They crawl up somewhere in their small corner and they start up doing something that works for them, and they present it to somebody and they see, oh, it's hitting one of the 25 KPIs that we have in our company, so it has to be good. What they don't see is the shadow operations. Behind all of these little tiny POCs and MVPs, there's one engineer sitting behind it and babysitting it. So you're moving labor cost from one part to another part because you're having a one-on-one human-to-agent ratio, which is, that doesn't sound feasible for me. And not scalable. I mean, how many people do you want? I thought you were using AI to be more efficient, which actually means less people, even though that's not an ethical thing to say, so I will take this back. And I've never said it, but I did. In the end, that's where we're going. We're trying to be more efficient, which means less human work. So we can use humans for things that are actually human. And that one-to-one scale ratio, you could fix that at the beginning. I'm switching. And if you did that at the beginning, you could actually save 70% of your labor cost. That's what we're heading for. That's what we wanted. That's why we've all been shouting AI, AI, AI. And we can't reach it because we're not designing, because we're not thinking about the big picture. Interaction scaffolding. So if you design an agent, you actually want to think about what is this agent going to touch, all of that. To see what it's going to touch, you're going to need something simple like a journey map. And I'm going to have a question here. Who knows the full journey, the full, complete journey of your value chain, the stuff that brings your company money, keeps your customers, makes them happy, and stuff like that, like the whole value chain? Who knows that? One. Wait, that was it? You? I love you. I do. Who knows somebody in the company who knows it? Two? Okay, good, good, good. I love you too. At least you know where to go. My mom always said you don't need to know everything, you just need to know where to ask, so you're good. So I assume the rest don't. That also means if you change something, and a journey is always going from left to right, and I don't know if you know ripple effects, but if you drop something into the water, it's going to do ripples and it's going to change the surface, which means if you change something at the beginning of the journey, everything else might be changing too. And that's why we have our engineers babysitting agents. Because they're trying their best that those ripples that they are causing, because somebody taught them to do what they have to do, is not causing everyone else to go insane. And that's a very sad thing. So a simple tool like a journey map, which actually only means knowing what's going on in your company, which is such a strange thing to say. A simple journey map, I'm saying that again, is changing everything already, because you know what you're going to change and what you have to change. But you also will know what you don't have to change just because of that journey map. The 10-time cost spiral. It's something that is weird. We don't like NLU flows because they're so rigid, right? Rigid is not bad in general. Sometimes we even need that. Authentication of a user needs something rigid. It needs the username, a password, or maybe a birthday. So a couple of few values that are rigid. I have to have that before I go into the next state, which also could be the next step of a journey, right? If I don't have that, I'm not going anywhere as an agent. I'm not going to tell you, okay, you're authenticated. I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry, I need your username and I need your date of birth, otherwise we cannot go on in this conversation. That's a simple state. So that simple small state is very easy to prompt. It's one simple prompt. You don't ask anything but this and that's it. That's one state. Combine that with every single step on the journey, and you have a couple of states. I can do that on paper. Like just thinking about the conversation, just listening to a human agent and a phone agency, I can listen to them what they're doing. So I can define those states. It will take me 5 calls, 6 calls listening to them. I can write it down, I can define the states, and everything that's outside of this state is an alarm because something is going wrong. and an LLM should never go wrong, right? That's what we're all afraid of. So, and within these states, if I define them, I exactly know where LLM is actually necessary because I want something that is living and understanding everything, and where not. And everywhere where it is, I'm going to see those 5 to 8 LLM calls just for one answer. So if you combine that, you can actually save up to 55% of operational cost just knowing when to use an LLM, when to make it think, and when not. And use something else that's cheaper, faster, easier to use, more rigid, more easy to constrain. 55%. That's a lot of waste of money just because we say we want everything AI. And don't get me wrong, I love LLMs and AI, so please don't get that wrong. I love playing with that. But it's simple. Journey map, remember that word? The journey map in design is only the beginning of a so-called service blueprint. Service blueprint combines a couple of things, that how things are interacting on the way along the journey map, different touch points, different processes and all that stuff. So if I look at the blueprint, at the service blueprint, I might want to rename it to a token return of invest blueprint because I want to make money, right? So I'm calling it in a way that I like it. And then I will go through every single step of it. If one single step doesn't bring me the value that it cost, be it user satisfaction or money, then I will design it out because then I don't need LLM in there. Why would I? It only costs me money and brings me nothing. But I can only see that if I have it on paper, if I have it somewhere written out. So I went from a journey map to a service blueprint, telling me almost everything that I need to know. And that will save me 5 times of the cost as well. And then, my favorite, personal favorite, is the uncanny valley. Uncanny valley. We need it to be beautiful. It has to have a great voice. Hello, it's me, your AI. I might be talking to it and I might be having more cost because users love talking to it. That's a great thing. They talk to it. Yay! But that costs money. Yeah. And in the end, it doesn't help. It doesn't help because it's just makeup. Makeup is expensive. It's a good thing if you want to go for image and stuff, but it's a bad thing and an unnecessary thing if you want to go for function. And as we learned the last 10 years with NLU and rigid flows and stuff like that, users will use it and will like it and will recommend it if it works. No matter the voice, no matter the latency, that's all makeup. It's something that you should work on and could work on and make it better. But if it doesn't work, the makeup will bring you nothing except cost. So don't buy the mask. Design the function, the intent. Being intentional is the way for our eye. Nothing else. It's simple as that. And you can test that. If you look back, there's one simple, very simple tool. It's called the Wizard of Oz prototyping. This will take me one day and maybe 5 to 7 users testing what they actually expect from an agent, how they talk to an agent, what they want the agent to say, to feel, to come back at, to function, to do for them. It will take me a day. Now calculate that day. I don't know how much I'd cost you on a day, but I'll add some renting out of a place so I can have a good image for them and show them that my company is great, so I invite them and maybe even give them a hotel and stuff. And I might come up to 15,000 on one day. And I already have all the necessary stuff that I need to know to make a good agent in a use case. Now compare that to what we are doing. We're going out to a developer and saying, hey, developer, I need this and that, and it should be working like this and that, and oh yeah, and add that feature too, please. They will take 2 weeks, 5 days a week, go some overtime, so let's say 10 hours a day, because they want to hit the deadline, and that's simply 180K. 2 weeks, 180K, 1 day, 15K. I know what I choose. So what I'm trying to say is think first, design it through, and yes, I am having to skip because I've been told I'm too fast, I'm too slow. There's a lot of things that design can bring you, like risk mitigation, just thinking about it. Design actually has something that tells you how to handle something that's coming up. The deadline of the EU AI Act oversight mandate, it's coming. And if you see it from a legal perspective, it's a hard thing to do. If you see it from a design perspective, that's the only way to go. Design means learn, iterate, make better. And to do that, we will need an oversight. And that's for us, from a design perspective, the innovation engine. We need that. So see it positive. It's nothing that is bad. It's a good thing, at least if you come from design. I will skip that. But please take a picture of your real math of success. So what I'm trying to say in all of this is lead like a designer. If you're a developer, don't put yourself in a corner and code. Go out and ask questions first. Why do you want this? Who is this for? What is going to happen before? What's going to happen after? Lead like a designer. If you're a product owner, explain everything. And if you hear one question, go and find the answer first before you even tell anyone to write one line of code. Put everything on paper. Share those papers with any stakeholders. Find out if you found all of the stakeholders, because they're going to be the ones stopping you in the end from going live and making money with what you're doing. So lead like a designer. It's a simple thing.